Good evening, everyone. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to another episode. Actually, the episode number 14. That means we have had our almost third week is about to end. So, um, oh yeah, Steffi, you need to switch your sound down. Excellent. Well, okay, let's start from the beginning. Welcome, everyone, um, to another episode of Entrepreneur's Kitchen. This is episode number 14, and you can ask questions on slide.do 50539 is our event code. And I'm really, really happy that actually, after almost 3 weeks of cooking disasters, we finally have someone who can actually cook. Hello, Steffi. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you, Sarah?
Fine. Thank you so much for inviting us into your kitchen. You've given me a little tour before we started when we were preparing, and I'm amazed by your kitchen. You know, it's like totally jealous of such a professional and huge kitchen. How big is your kitchen? Your house is your kitchen.
Well, the kitchen is the most biggest place here. It's 45 to 50 square meters.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And the whole house, it's a loft. It's about 160, 170. I don't know exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And when I invited you to the show, you were like, okay, no worries. What kind of setup do you want? And you already have everything in place, and you were just pushing buttons to make it all work, which is really, really awesome. I'm saying this because you are actually one of the digital pioneers in Germany. Even before becoming such a famous cook, you have already an author. You have already worked in the digital era, and I like your story very much. Can you just introduce yourself with your little known background, actually?
Yes, of course. So my name is Steffi or Stefanie Grauer, which is a huge name. Well, I have a background in digital media. So I started in 1994. I built my first website in 1994.
Oh,
And
wow.
oh, yeah, and I worked at ProSieben in München, the broadcast channel, for several years, and I helped them to grow the digital business. So, and it went on and on and on, and then I met my husband, and we founded a digital agency, which we sold in 2000, and yeah, then it turned. Um, I got a lot of allergies, food allergies, um, and I was allowed to eat only 12 food items for several months, up to 1 year. Yep.
Wow. Mm.
And while that time, I recognized that there are a lot of people in the same situation like me, because at that time I didn't know what I have.
Mm. Mm.
Well, I knew there should be some allergies, but I was not diagnosed with nothing. And I had always those allergy shocks. And so that's when I started to research about allergies, food intolerances, and all that stuff. And what I always did in my whole life, I loved cooking.
Mm.
And so I started to go deeper into that cooking theme, and I started to create menus with only 12 ingredients, which I was allowed to eat.
Which is actually really cool, because only a quarter of that you're allowed to use in my kitchen.
Yeah.
We have to talk about what you're going to be preparing, but I want to hear this story until the end before we start talking about food.
Yeah. So I started the cooking thing for myself, and well, after a while, I thought, well, why not give all the recipes to people in the same situation like me? So I started the blog. It was super spontaneously, and well, it's called Kochtrotz. I guess it's not translatable.
Well, it's like as if you would cook in spite of so many hindrances. So you're like you're insisting on cooking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So well, I hacked every dish. So that's what I feel like. Well, I want to eat spaghetti bolognese. Oh, sorry, I'm not able to. I'm not allowed to eat onions. I'm not allowed to eat tomatoes. Blah blah blah. So what can I do? So how can I hack that dish?
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of food hacking. What I do.
Mm-hmm.
And over the years, I professionalized that. I studied again. I got a nutrition consultant and somehow a specialist for food intolerances and food allergies.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, in 2014, I started to write my first cookbook.
Show us. Do you have it somewhere close by?
Yes,
It's such a lovely. Oh, look at this! It's such a lovely cover. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hard cake. So what I did is I developed a ingredient system which allows well, it's a bit super small here. Wait, just there's a bigger. That's the third one. It's a baking book, a gluten-free baking book, but well, what I did is I built or I developed an ingredient system because every person with allergies have different foods that he or she is allowed to eat. So
Mm-hmm.
there is always the basic recipe. These are the ingredients, and for every ingredient there are two alternatives.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So everybody can choose what's allowed or what's in stock at home.
Mm-hmm. And it's still tasty.
It's not and it's still tasty. Every recipe works with every combination, and it's always awesome. Tasty.
Yeah. That's really. I think that's genius. That's really. It's exactly what food hacking. I totally get the idea. And but I mean, why do you think? Okay, let's concentrate for one moment on the food we have to prepare all drinks.
Are you cooking?
Oh my God! I was like, I'm not cooking tonight. I'm not doing anything that's edible. Well, I'm actually preparing a tea. And when I tell you what I'm going to put in it, then you will immediately know what it is for. So I have a lemon.
Yeah.
Then I have ginger. And then I have cinnamon. So, and just some water. So this is a tea. Actually, my mother used to prepare. And at some point later on, we realized that these are like magical ingredients. Because if you make this tea and let it rest in the fridge for a night, for instance, and then on the next day, everything is like went down, and then you can pour it. And then before your breakfast or before you have any meal, 20 minutes before that, you drink it, and then your blood sugar won't rise. Exactly, won't rise after you have the food as it was. So I discovered this together with my mother when I had pregnancy blood sugar. So when I was pregnant with the second child, yes, and it really did help me, and it helped me prevent doctors giving me medicine, the insulin. Well, I'm not saying that this is the cure for diabetes, but it helped me. So maybe people outside want to try. So, before every meal, 20 minutes before, just have a sip of this tea, cold or warm, and it's yummy. It's really tasty. And then, because when I was pregnant, I was I had to have a blood sugar test after every meal. So I have the data.
I remember we met that time.
Yes.
That was your
Yes.
second pregnancy, I guess.
Exactly. I was really
Yeah,
pregnant. Do you remember
yeah,
we
and I
were on the
remember.
stage? Yes, we were on the
Yeah.
stage together at Sonophilia. Yeah. So, but so I'm just going to be preparing on the side and putting it in the fridge and then having it because it's something I really enjoy. And I believe it's something good. I mean, lemon and ginger when they come together, they're
Always
like
perfect.
yes, exactly. They love each other so much that they will
Yeah.
boost your immune system, which is really necessary nowadays, huh? So, how about you?
But well, I won't cook anything as well.
Oh, well,
No.
it's kind of late,
Well, I
right?
thought about because we had a super short conversation today on Facebook, and I wrote, "Let's make drinks." Do you remember? And I thought, okay, drink, yeah, let's make a drink, but we do not have any ingredients here for drinks.
Well,
You're
damn
completely out of everything. And I didn't want to go shopping today, so I thought, but I don't want to cook. So what will I do? What will I prepare for tonight? So I decided to steer steer a dish.
Ah,
Not steering a drink, but well,
you're mixing a dish. Awesome.
I just used the fork for my dish.
Awesome.
So I will make a creamy pepper tuna dip.
Oh, so
Yeah.
so you would need like vegetables to dip, maybe?
Pardon?
Or what is it a dip for? Is it for vegetables or is it for chips or what does it go best with?
It goes well for several things. You can eat it as an appetizer with grissini, for example.
Ah,
Or you put it on a fresh baked bread as a spread. And I love those multi-usable dishes. So what you can do as well, you can use it as a pasta sauce.
awesome.
So what else? You can make a dressing with it.
That's like a food wonder.
Yep.
So how do you make it, Steffi? And I already said the word food wonder because I want to talk about that as well.
Yeah.
But how do you prepare it?
Well, it's really super simple. What you have to do, can you see that my little bowls here?
Yes.
So I have here, it's cream cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And it's canned tuna.
Mm-hmm.
And third ingredient, this is the major ingredient. It's Eyebar. It's the Balkan pepper dip.
Yeah.
And well, my husband is from Serbia, so I learned to make the Eyebar from my aunt in Belgrade.
Oh,
So it's
you made it
homemade.
yourself. Awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I make it. Well, it's only with 4 ingredients.
Well, okay, you get to do it 7. It's okay.
So, and what you do is you just mix everything together,
Yeah.
and that's it. It's super simple. It takes you a minute if you have the Eyebar, but you can buy it in stores, Turkish stores. They have very good Eyebar.
Which I know because I'm Turkish. Excellent. Yeah. So, in my case, what you do is you just cut everything in. Can you see this? I don't want to pour it on my computer.
Yeah.
You just cut everything in pieces, and then you take. It's actually, depending on how you would like to have it. The cinnamon can be. I like lots of cinnamon. And
like me. Lots of ginger, lots of cinnamon.
Exactly. And then you just put them all together and then you start the thing and it's done. Excellent. Yeah. And so let's talk about Food Wonder a little bit.
Yeah, that's my latest project and my youngest baby.
So cool.
founded Food Wunder with a partner. So we planned everything last year, and I knew 2020 will gonna be a very different year for me. Well, anyway, yeah, it's for all of us different now. But yeah, and then this year, and at the end of February, we made everything official. And Food Wonder is what we will do with Food Wonder, or within Food Wonder, we create products, food items for people who are very curious in cooking, who are creative in cooking, who, well, of course, they are all super healthy. They are allergy-free products, but you won't taste it. This is very important. They are gluten-free, for example. They are free from rice, free from corn.
But they're also free. Some products are also free from taste.
No, every product is very tasty and tasteful. Exactly. Super important. Well, if you have allergies, the last thing what you want to have is you know, the rice crackers. Yeah, that's the last thing you want to eat. What you want to have is you want to eat real bread, or bread that's gluten-free, or probably free from eggs, nuts, milk and all that stuff, but you want to taste it. You want to eat real bread, or bread that tastes like real bread. And that's what we want to do with the Food Wonder products. Yeah,
that's I think that's really, really awesome, and there is a huge market place for that. I want to ask you a little bit more, kind of provocative question about all these, food items. There is a huge market now, and books and tons, all artists, Hollywood stars, they're starting their own brands.
$1 trillion mark.
So nutrition, additives and stuff like that. So and also some of them, some of the artists actually themselves look very unhealthy. Are you eating your own product? So so what do you think about all of this market? Is it still honest? Do you really?
Well, it's not that easy. It's not easy to answer your question. Well, there is a lot of money in that market, and it's somehow a very trendy market. And well, a lot of people do over supplement. Let's say it like that. It's not necessary to eat or to take 5 to 7 times a day some supplements, vitamins, spirulina, beetroot powder. Yeah, but you know what I mean, all that fancy stuff in so beautiful designed packages, boxes. Super expensive. Well, no, I'm not a fan of that. That's what I can say. I'm really not a fan of that. Well, sometimes it's necessary that you supplement, for example, vitamin C or zinc or magnesium, the regular stuff, to have a very active immune system. But if you think, or if they all suggest you that you won't get any wrinkles.
Yes.
Yeah. For example, if you buy the pill ABC of celebrity C to Z. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No. What they don't tell you is that you also have to have enough cash in your bank account to go to your Botox. You have to go to your Botox.
And up to from 500 up to uncountable limits.
Yes. What I'm saying is, a lot of the people actually have lots of, for the wrinkles and for all of that stuff. They kind of spend hours and hours in gym, and they spend hours and hours at the a plastic surgeon's office, which is
Yeah.
a truth that kind of I don't know. But why is it so? Is this a female market more than it is a male market? How is it in your case?
I guess it's mixed.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's 50-50. Yeah.
Seriously?
It's
Okay.
not female dominated. No. Mm-mm.
Not anymore.
No, 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 no. No.
And
But
and
yeah.
no, go ahead.
No, this market is growing in Germany or in Europe, all over Europe now, since 5 or 6 years, I guess. We know that from the US,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, now we have all those surgery offers all over Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when is it for you, in your opinion, when is it too much? I mean, being obsessed with your body, being obsessed with your health is, to some extent, I assume, a good thing. When do you think it's too much? When should the people be aware that it's kind of getting, like alcoholism, like, to that addictive level?
Well, I guess if you have an obsession for yourself, you won't recognize that. But if your close friends start to warn you, then there is the time to think about the whole thing. But it's super hard to tell a close friend, hey, don't you think wait 6 months probably for the next surgery? Well, stay a bit relaxed. In the most times, this doesn't work. Yeah.
And also with food, I mean, probably all of us know one or two people in their immediate surroundings who are so obsessed with what they eat, how they supplement, about I have friends who listen. I mean, not really friends. I know people who listen to their body all the time to an extent of true obsession, and they're always behind finding out, why do I feel floated? Why do I feel this? So how
Why
do you
do
go
I
about that?
weigh 100 grams more than yesterday? Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
The, this is a really dangerous thing because they stress their bodies and their minds. And well, at the end, something is happening, what we know about as a burnout. This is a thing that happens mostly in your mind, but it can happen to your body as well.
Yeah.
You can get a body burnout, and this is exactly the time when you get mostly if you are bloated all the time, if you get food allergies, if you get the urticaria and all that stuff, then your body has this burnout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And I mean, this is really such a fascinating topic. When you do your food blog, I know you have so many people following you. You have so many people who kind of hang on your lips for the next recipe you're going to tell them. You get so many commentaries, people interact with you, and you are such a lovely person. You answer everything that's within a good commentary. You always get back to people. You're interactive. If you realize something with one of your fans that they're getting too obsessive about a certain thing, do you also intervene? Because sometimes when you're a food junkie, foodie in your case, you also kind of become a soul worker, because people tell you their problems, people tell you their allergies, people tell you their sorrows, and so how do you handle that?
Well, I from the beginning on, I handle it very different. because well, I'm super authentic with everything I do, and I'm not the over and over person for myself.
Mm.
I'm very positive, and I do mistakes. I eat the wrong food. I miss sports for 3 months. I do all the mistakes for myself. And I guess this is the thing, what's very, very important for all my followers, for my blog readers, for the whole target group, that I'm a really normal person.
Mm.
And this is why I do not have those people who are so obsessive.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
So you're not like, eat this and then don't eat anything for the next 5 months and then come back.
no, no,
Yeah, I mean,
no.
I know that you're not one of those. And actually, we have a question. It looks like it's coming from New York. So, yeah, so it says, what do you think about, do people still teach their kids to cook? And it says in New York City, for instance, some apartments don't even have a kitchen.
Yeah, well, in Germany or in European countries, we have kitchens. We still have kitchens. Some are very little, but I guess it's the same thing is happening. That oh, that's my cat. He wants to go outside now.
It's okay, don't worry.
You have to wait. No, so well, I guess it's the same that kids do not learn how to cook. They even do not learn how to scramble an egg. Most of them, yeah, it's a pity, but most of them do not learn it. And in schools, they do not teach it. They even do not teach anything about food,
Yeah,
about nutrition, nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pity. That's right. That's really a pity. I mean, we have a child, for instance. What I sometimes what really wonders me is, for instance, in our kid goes to an Austrian primary school,
Yeah.
and every lunchtime they have a 3-course menu, and you're like, why
Wow.
should they? Why should such small kids have? And then in the afternoon they get they bake, and it's all about. I'm feeling like it's all around carbs. It's the easy stuff they do in the school kitchen, which tastes for kids, because then you don't have to like force the kid to eat the broccoli, and then they come home and you want to give them vegetables and nice things, and they're like, I don't like this.
Yeah, because they had the fried food at school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot to do, I guess. You know, yeah, the other way are some kids, they grow up with those parents, they eat keto, no sugar, no, yeah, that's the other side.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and this is also not the best thing how to grow up, because if you from young years start well, from very young years, if you think that sugar is like toxic,
Mm-hmm. And
that end. Yeah.
I mean, that's right. And what do you think about this situation, for instance? I mean, we all have now really weary jobs, right? It's kind of everybody's working a lot. Even if we're home, we're constantly working. Some people are posting, even in this time of quarantine, that they have like 14 Zoom calls every day. So we're constantly under pressure of, you know, as if we have to prove ourselves. And then sometimes this has an effect of our immune system and the
Of
foods
course.
also we eat. So, what would you suggest? How should we actually go about this? Because we're kind of forgetting that relationship between mind and the gut and the stomach. And I remember our really nice conversation from a couple of years ago, where you said, when you're in China, for instance, and you go to a doctor, they ask you also, what do you eat?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how can we connect back to that kind of, consciousness?
Well, um, I guess it's super simple. We all have our digital schedules.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has it. So what you can do is, and we are all busy all day. So what you can do is, for example, at 12:20 to 12:30, give yourself 10 minutes for meditation. From 12:30 to 12, for example, 45, have a light meal. You can prepare this. You can meal prep and all that stuff. You can make it at the weekend, or you eat a light sandwich. So you need just 15 minutes for a light, relaxed meal. And then from 12:45 to 12:55, take a power nap, just 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then get back the next 5 minutes. And then it's 1 o'clock and you had 1 hour of rest.
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple thing, but you have to take this time for yourself in the middle of the day.
But why is it so hard, Steffi?
Because every other thing is more important than yourself.
But now we're going all crazy about this corona. Everybody's carrying masks and nobody's actually caring about their immune system in a way that's actually healthy. How come? I mean, how
we forget ourselves because we are not trained to hear what is good or bad for us, what we need in this second, what we need in this moment. We are not trained to that. We are trained to work, to have our meetings, to to have our roles every day, to be the mother, to be the manager, to be whatever. We are so trained to that, and sometimes I think we are kind of slaves of ourselves. Yeah, and we do have to interrupt that with little steps.
And how do you think is? I mean, I have one more question, and then we have to start telling jokes. Otherwise,
no, we missed that part.
otherwise it's going to be too. But I'm really interested in what you have to say about how can we, start listening. Do you have any easy access, easy access tips, suggestions for understanding what's happening with me right now, actually, and how is our lifestyle? How does that affect our well-being, especially in terms of food? So do you see a parallel between lifestyle and allergies, for instance?
Yeah, of course, because stress is the enemy of allergies. If you have too much stress, it depends, but after 1 to 5 years, you will definitely have your first, second, third, and 10th allergy, or your food intolerance. Yeah, this affects your immune system, and you lower down everything if you have too much stress. So start probably for 5 minutes a day. Use a meditation app or whatever is good for yourself to interrupt your roller coaster life. Yeah,
That's
it
really
sounds simple. I know.
Yeah, well, it's like five. It's like 5 minutes a day keeps the doctor away. So perfect. Dude, that was my first joke. What is your joke, Steffi?
Well, I told you before, I'm the baddest joke teller on earth. I can't remember any joke, and I can't tell a joke, and this is why I prepared myself.
Awesome. That's hilarious.
So I
Oh, you
thought,
have more than, how many jokes do you have on that paper?
5. I have 5, and you know, these are all Chuck Norris jokes.
Oh, I love those. He's the best. Okay, go ahead, start.
Okay, well, I have to read them from the paper.
I think this is hilarious. You don't even have to tell a joke now. You can just put it
I
back.
start with the first one. It's a short. Okay. Chuck Norris tried to lose weight, but Chuck Norris never loses.
Excellent. You never. Of course not. I want to hear another one. I love Chuck Norris jokes.
Yeah. Okay. Another one. So whenever Arnold says, "I'll be back," in any of his movies, he means that he's just going to quickly ask Chuck Norris for advice.
That's so hilarious. That's awesome. I have one, but it's not nearly as funny as the Chuck Norris jokes you just told. How do you call an alligator that has just put on a vest?
No idea.
An investigator.
Okay.
Well, terrible. So let's put the jokes away.
Yeah. Put it back here.
Absolutely. And now we go back to the serious talk. So you say that there is an obvious relationship between lifestyle and allergies.
Yeah.
But Steffi, how am I supposed to live healthy if I'm constantly covered with all this actually terrible food? Even the bread you buy in a supermarket, or even the bread you buy at the bakery shop, is filled with dextrose, bistrose, all sorts of sugar stuff and the things and the, color things. So how can we even be conscious about that? I'm again giving an example from my own life. When I had the pregnancy diabetes diagnosed, they gave me a nutrition lesson. And I would have assumed that I'm actually a conscious person. And then suddenly you get all these ingredients you have no idea about, that they put them into your bread and into your stuff. And then you suddenly go to a supermarket and they can't even tell you what's in the bread, or a bakery shop. So how do you deal with this?
Yeah, this is true. This is a huge problem. All those processed food we have in stores, starting with bread. And bread, what should be in a bread? Water, flour, yeast, and salt. 4 ingredients. At the end, we have about 50 ingredients in it these days. And what you can do is, and it's an uncomfortable way. It's not the easiest thing. Well, what's easy is step in the supermarket, run through it, 10 minutes, buy everything. Yeah, that's fine. But then you will buy this bread and
Mm-hmm.
So I guess there is a bakery around you. They are with traditional bread, without the enzyme stuff and all that thing. Go there, ask them. And same I'm sure you have a butcher around.
Mm.
Yeah, very classic one with a very good quality. Most of those shops in these days they deliver.
Mm-hmm.
So if you found one and they deliver, then it's an easy thing, because you can order online, you can order at home, or you just call them and they will bring you the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't have to go to the supermarket. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing is the bread at the supermarket. Not every bread is filled with with all the stuff. There is all, rye bread.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you like rye bread, most of the time, even in supermarket, the rye bread has less ingredients because rye for itself, it doesn't allow all these additives. The bread
Oh,
won't work.
interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. So these are the little secrets nobody
Mm-hmm.
knows. But same thing as with meat. You just go in the supermarket and ask where does that meat come. And
Mm.
well, the first time you have to look in the internet, and most of the times they have two qualities.
Ah.
The cheap, mhm, the cheap one, you won't buy that, and there is a more expensive quality. And most of the time, this is from animals around
Oh, local
local
produce. Okay.
suppliers.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have a slider question here. Is there something burning behind you, Seda? No,
Oh, this
it's not burning.
happened.
It's my tea. It's my tea. I just switched it off. Thank you, thank you. Well, two weeks ago, I was almost burning something. So
Yeah, yeah, I heard this. Well, yeah, yeah.
exactly. Thank you, guys. Thank you for thinking of my well-being. Um, what are the most important dishes that everyone should know?
The most important dishes, not food items.
Well, if you can't think of a dish, just for instance, you're like these things always have to be in your fridge
In
if you have
stock in your,
in
yeah, yeah.
stock. If you have them plus toilet paper, you will never you
And
will never
yeast.
and yeast. You will never run out of possibilities. So what
Yeah,
are those
well,
items?
I would say potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, because they are rich of vitamins and all that stuff. They're super healthy and easy to cook.
Easy to cook,
um,
yes.
so parsnip is also very good because it lasts very long.
Mm-hmm.
If you like tomatoes, cucumber not because it doesn't last longer than 3 days. So bananas are very good because they are super healthy, and one banana is a light meal. Yeah,
Yeah. And it's like,
apple
and even if they're rotten, you can still use them to make pancakes, for instance.
and ice cream.
Exactly.
Yeah, apples are very good as well. I'm just looking around in my kitchen because I have always that
And of
stuff here.
course, some tuna fish, some Eyebar, and some cheese, cream
Yeah,
cheese.
for the fresh stuff, I would like to add avocados.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because the fat is super healthy. And so that's the fresh stuff. So yogurt, have yogurt at home or curd, depends on where you're living. Milk,
Mm-hmm.
plant-based or from cows, up to you. And one really important ingredient you should always have in stock are oats.
Oh, okay.
Oats, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because they're healthy. You can make breakfast with them with a little bit of fruit and milk, but you can always you can bake with the oats. You can
Mm-hmm.
make muffins, cakes, or even bread.
I
So
actually do have a question when you spoke about oats, and I'm assuming one of the stuff that most people have at home is milk. You know, but some people do have allergies and intolerances when it comes to milk, and I've seen many people, buy lactose-free milk, so sugar-free milk, sugar-free milk, or oat milk, or almond milk. But then when you look into the ingredients, it looks like anything else that so how conscious should the people actually be if they're supplementing something for another thing because they think it's going to help them for their allergies, but actually they're drinking poison.
Yeah, it's most of them, or a lot of, not most, but the thing is turning now. Yeah, it's chemical, somehow chemical ingredients. So, but there is um, there are a lot of plant-based drinks now with with 2 to 5 ingredients
Oh, okay.
that are all natural.
Where do you
So
get them?
just at the supermarket.
Okay.
Just read the ingredients. And for example, there are oat drinks on the market now, oat milk. It's just water, oats, and salt, and probably a little bit of sunflower oil. That's it. No binding agents, nothing. Same with almond milk, same with rice milk. There's good quality available, but you have to read, every time you have to read the ingredients. Yeah.
And will actually Food Wonder also produce things in these areas? Excellent.
Yes, we will. We will start with flour mixes, but with 5 ingredients, only 5, and not 20 or more. Yeah.
And then
So
you know how is actually, I mean, I always think that people, I mean, food industry, which is, I don't know, some people hate pharma, big pharma. On the other hand, we have the food industry, so I don't know who is the bigger, you know. So
who is
so
more,
exactly,
yeah.
let's not go there. But when you think about all these additives, you think that they put it inside to make things last longer, which does not necessarily always help. So but you can still, you can have 5 ingredients and have still an extended life shelf life, or how does that work?
Yeah, you have the same shelf life.
That's
You
insane.
you can have the same shelf life without all the chemical ingredients. Yeah. But the thing is, the raw materials are more expensive. If you put in some emulsifier or well, let's say binding agents for those barista milks that are very trendy now. They do have binding agents, and then they lower down, for example, an oat milk, a barista oat milk is you can buy them for, I guess, 250 to euro 50, and there are up to 10 ingredients inside. So what they do is they lower down the oats and put in binding agents and all that stuff, and then you have an expensive barista oat milk. But you can do this with 3, 4 ingredients, very natural ingredients, but you have to charge, I guess, about 3 euros for 1 liter then.
Yeah, and then you have to just stand in front of the shelf and think about, is my life worth 50 cents more or not? I mean, you know, it sounds like it's a privileged topic. Is it? Is it actually that much of a privilege to live healthy?
No, I guess not, because well, you have a choice. You can buy this oat milk, or you can make it for 20 cents at home.
Oh, you can make
It's
oat
always
milk
your
at home.
choice.
Oh my god. Okay,
Yeah.
now you're opening up an entirely new perspective in my life. Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
It's very comfy to buy all that stuff. Yes, it's expensive. If you want to live the healthy lifestyle with very high quality ingredients, this is expensive. But you can also live the healthy lifestyle and make more for yourself at home. This is super cheap.
And you have been helping people to
Yeah.
realize exactly that. You have been
Yeah.
helping people to make yeast at home. You have been helping people to make, you know, all sorts of. It's so. I think you're a true hero. But how can we, you know, how can we make our society in general, also schools, even more conscious that we don't feed our kids all this junk in the lunchtime in the school?
Yeah, that's well, this question is, I think I do not have a right answer for it, because the food lobby is overall, and they're best friends with the pharma lobby. We all know that. Yeah, and
No.
well, what you can do is, well, what I do sometimes is that I have cooking classes for kids,
Mm-hmm.
and they are well, if I take 12 kids, but and they are booked out within 1 hour. They are well, there are enough parents who would like to teach, or would like that the kids learn more about food and cooking,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore themselves are not able to teach. Yeah, but what we can do is, it's mouth to mouth propaganda,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think that they will teach it at school in the next years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you
And
are not.
maybe
Yeah.
at least when parents are somewhat in charge of what the kids are eating, maybe they just stop buying that shit.
Yeah. Well, well, sometimes well, the kids are, they do come home and say, "Mommy, I don't want to have those cornflakes anymore. I would like to eat oats in the morning. Hey, my friends they make overnight oats, blah blah blah," and so it starts.
Okay.
Sometimes the kids for itself, they are starting the thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Steffi, we have been, chatting almost for an hour now. So this is
Wow.
yes, I know. It feels really, really short. So thank you so much. So here is my tea. Look at this. So there is a
I will try it for myself.
a nice crown, and you have to let it cool down. Put it in the fridge. Put some ice in
Yeah.
it. It's like an iced tea in the morning.
Yeah.
And drink it before
I
your
will try that
breakfast.
later on.
Lovely. And yours looks exactly, it looks very. So put a film on it, and you can have it together with Alexander tomorrow.
We will have it for lunch tomorrow with not the real pasta, the zucchini pasta, so the healthy
Oh,
version.
excellent. Steffi, thank you so much for joining me
It
tonight.
was great fun.
This was really great fun. This was also really, really very informative. And we even had Chuck Norris jokes. What do you want more on a Friday evening? so I'm going to switch on to my solo screen. Please stay in the line for the after show party. Guys, thank you for joining another episode of Entrepreneur's Kitchen. I'm looking forward to welcoming you here next week on Monday. Please tune in for my awesome guests next week. It's gonna be really, really cool. We will have lots of entrepreneurs. We will have Samantha here, Hands in Robotics. And also Ava is going to be joining at some point, and Ford. So we will have lots of industry discussions next week on the Entrepreneur's Kitchen. Thank you for spending the week with me. Looking forward to seeing you again next week. Bye-bye and have a lovely week. Stay healthy.